Petr Yan takes on Deiveson Figueiredo this weekend for a bout with serious title implications. It's the UFC China preview up next on Fighting with Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. Speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia. BG always got something fresh for the people.
What's up, AD? How's it going?
OG, bro, how are you?
Yo, good. Feeling great.
Fantastic, bro. So, as I said in the intro, it is UFC China, and as always, BG, we start at the top of the card. And here we see Petr Yan, the 1.33 favorite, coming up against Deiveson Figueiredo, who starts as a 3.4 dog. Petr Yan is 17-5-0, 7 by KO. Last fight lost to the current champ, Merab Dvalishvili. And he's, of course, the former two-time bantamweight champ in this division. He's coming up against our boy from Brazil, Deiveson Figueiredo, the number one Tustaguera. And he is, of course, 24-3-1, last fight beating Chito by unanimous decision. Fourth fight at bantamweight, and he's, of course, the former two-time flyweight champ. So, BG, who do you love here, bro?
Both of them. I can't really pick one. For me, whoever wins, I'll be happy with either one, to be quite honest. I'm a fan of both of these guys. Petr Yan, he obviously did a very good job against what's his name, Song Yadong in his last fight. Before that, he was on a 3-fight losing streak against the 3 former champions, obviously Merab, O'Malley, and Sterling. Whereas Figueiredo, coming into the bantamweight, hasn't lost a fight yet. Looking phenomenal in this division, actually, because he's now able to carry his weight really well here. His weight cut is not that intense, and especially when he beat Chito Vera, I was like, okay, that's a massive statement win for Deiveson Figueiredo. I do think that fighting Petr Yan is a massive step up, but I don't think a step up that Deiveson can't sort of get to and do really well. I do think that Figueiredo has got some attributes that Petr Yan needs to really look out for. I do think if they keep the fight standing, I think Petr Yan's going to be the one that's going to dominate the fight a little bit because I think he's the better striker. I think it's safe to say he's the more cleaner striker between the two guys. However, that being said, we know that Deiveson's power still carries over even from flyweight to bantamweight. He's making guys like Cody Garbrandt scared to get into the pocket with him. That's how intense Figueiredo really is. And we know he's a phenomenal striker, black belt jiu-jitsu kind of guy, and he's got a very good wrestling or MMA wrestling game, so he can take people down at will. And I do think that Petr Yan's gonna be in for it here. I think what we have to look out for here is Petr Yan's progression going to be something we're gonna see, because he did implement takedowns really well against Yadong, and because Yadong is also a very powerful striker as well. So Petr Yan was wrestling in that fight. So I want to see if Petr Yan's going to initiate the takedowns, or is he going to keep the fight standing and rely on some good takedown defense, because he does have a phenomenal takedown defense. Because we do know that Deiveson Figueiredo is not going to be fighting one particular style. He's not going to just stand and strike with you. He was forced to do that against Moreno, because that's Moreno obviously managed to keep the fight standing against him. But I do think Deiveson, as we can see in the bantamweight, he has been initiating some takedowns, some wrestling against some of his opponents. So I think he's obviously going to try and do that. So I don't know if he's going to be able to stand for too long with Petr Yan, because eventually Petr Yan finds those gaps, man. He finds that Muay Thai boxing, Thai boxing, and he starts piecing people up, and he forces fighters to sort of, either grapple with him, or I don't know, they try to survive most of his onslaught. And the longer the fight goes on, the stronger Petr Yan gets. And it is a 5-round fight. We haven't seen Deiveson 5 rounds in bantamweight, but we've seen him 5 rounds in flyweight. So I wonder if he's going to be able to go into those championship rounds, because he did look a little gassed against Cody Garbrandt in the 3rd round, and he had to really dig deep for that. So that's my big question for Deiveson. But dude, this fight makes, for me personally, a pick 'em. But I'm surprised to see that Deiveson Figueiredo is the underdog, considering that he's been on since moving up to bantamweight.
Yeah, and he's quite a big dog as well. At 3.4.
Shocking.
So
Shocking.
because I was saying that's basically a foregone conclusion here. But just to that point about wrestling, BG, when we talk about Deiveson's keys to victory,
Yes.
Petr Yan's not a bad wrestler either, bro. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be that simple. So I know you say that Deiveson's going to look to kind of mix it up. But maybe could you give us just a bit more detail as well? What you think is the easiest kind of path or the most clear path to victory for Deiveson?
Well, to answer that question, you have to look at how Petr Yan has lost in the UFC since so far, and the losses are significant to the three former champions, like I mentioned earlier. And okay, the Marab, the loss to O'Malley was very questionable, but the loss to Marab, he completely got obliterated by Marab. He got taken down every round. He had nothing for it. Sterling also just out-wrestled him in the second fight. So for Deiveson, I think he's going to have to not stay on the outside for too long, because I think Petr Yan's slightly taller, if I'm not mistaken, or they could be the same height, but Yan's got slightly longer reach. Oh no, because Figueiredo's got longer reach, but Yan fights in a way that he can fight inside or outside of the pocket. And if you look at how he navigates opponents when they're striking, he moves them all into his range so well. He doesn't have to put up to the corner of the back of the octagon. He can push up the middle if it's necessary as well. That's how potent his striking really is. And he kind of sticks you into that fight because he holds his high guard and he's like slowly inching forward towards you. So it's forcing you to kind of engage with him in some kind of way. What Deiveson Figueiredo's keys to victory is to actually take that space and not try and fight on the outside. Actually take the space with Petr Yan, because I do think he's the better wrestler. Even though Jan's takedown defense is at 83%, 85% at the moment, and we have seen him have very good takedown defense. But fighters that with good wrestling have taken him down and kept him there. And I do think Deiveson's ground game is underappreciated. I think it's really, really good. Slightly better than Jan's, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Just one more question, BG. Petr Yan, for you, is he in your top 3 boxers in the UFC?
You know, since the arrival of Ilya Topuria, I might yes, because Ilya's boxing is really good, Dustin's boxing is really good, Max is really good. Petr Yan, I would say his Thai boxing is probably the best. I'm not too sure about just outright boxing. But his Thai boxing, I don't think anyone comes close.
Fair point, BG. All right, BG. So yeah, if you were to pick a winner here, last question on this one, gun to your head, picking a winner, what do you say?
I'm gonna go with Deiveson Figueiredo just because I think he's got a lot of momentum. Even it's hard to bet against Petr Yan, because I do think Petr Yan is one of the scariest guys to fight in bantamweight. But Figueiredo is on a momentum at the moment. He's also on a tear because he went up against really good opponents, Rob Font, Chito Vera, who's the guy that fought Cody Garbrandt. So like these are household names in the bantamweight division, and he took them out basically with good confidence and very good showing as well. So I'm going to put towards him just for that, because the momentum's on his side. He's fresh, he's hungry, he's going for another title charge. Petr Yan's got 1 win in 4 fights. So, you know what I mean? He's still getting his gears rolling, whereas Deiveson is like full steam ahead. For that reason, I'm going to go Deiveson Figueiredo. But I wouldn't be surprised if Petr wins.
Nicely done, BG. So you've heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're trying to get paid on an underdog this weekend, it is Deiveson Figueiredo. But we'll get into more detail about that in tomorrow's parlay show. And of course, as always, let us know in the comments your thoughts. Who wins this fight? Deiveson Figueiredo, Dusteguera, or Petr Yan? But BG, we're going to skate now. We're going to go to a women's strawweight bout. Another bout with serious title implications in this division, I think. And here we see Xiaonan, who is the 1.48 favorite. She's 18-4. Last fight lost to Wei Li, the current champion, by unanimous decision. And then she's coming up against Tabatha Ricci, 2.7 underdog, 11-2-0. Last fight went over Angela Hill by unanimous decision. So BG, what can you tell us about this one?
So firstly, before I go into some X's and O's, we got to give props and big hand for Tabatha Ricci to make it to this point of becoming title contention now, because, you know, for years now she's, you know, tinkering. I mean, she's only ranked number 10, which is surprising because I looked at the record properly, and I think she's won 6 of the last 8 fights, and she only lost to Manon Fiorot, who is currently, you know, challenging what's the name, Valentina Shevchenko, and then she lost to Rodriguez who I don't know where she's almost fall by the wayside. But we have to give props for that. However, in this fight, I kind of feel like she's gonna come up short against Yan Xiaonan, and because Yan Xiaonan is worthy of number 2 in my eyes. I think she's really powerful. She's taller than most of the women in this division, so that gives her a very massive advantage because of her height, her length, and she's a very good active striker. She throws, I think, 4-5 significant strikes per minute. So she's out there boxing with you, and not to mention her wrestling game is not that bad actually. She stood toe to toe with Whaley, who's the queen of the division at the moment, and to go 5 rounds with her. When she did get a little bit outclassed later rounds, but I mean, it's Whaley, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's
exactly.
Magnum Whaley is just the best at the moment, so I can understand that. But for the first 3 rounds, she was doing really well, and I thought that was showings of someone that's a worthy contender, and I think she's going to stay in the top 5 for quite some time. And for Tabatha Ricci again, she's also good striker, very active, but fights off the back foot. She's going to have to get in very close and not fight on the outside because she's going to be slightly shorter. She's obviously going to have less reach. And Xiaonan is the kind of person that fights off the jab and off that side kick as well. So for Tabatha, she's going to have to fight a lot of long limbs before she gets in, that's going to be the first puzzle for her. So I would love to see Tabatha Ricci include some wrestling, some clinch work. Just make it a dog fight. Make it very ugly. Don't make it very pretty. Don't try and stand there and look for the pretty things. Make it a dog fight, because if she wins this fight, she's almost guaranteed either another number 1 contender fight, or she's guaranteed title shot. So because for Tabatha Ricci for this year so far, she's done really well. Where Xiaonan is coming off that loss, she's obviously looking to stay in that contention. So it's an uphill climb for Tabatha, I think. But I mean, they wouldn't have booked this fight if she didn't have a chance. And I'm pretty sure she's going to come in there with a lot of fire under her belly. But Xiaonan is a puzzle. She's a puzzle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know you said that Xiaonan gets it done for you. How does she get it done? Do you see this one going the distance, or does she manage to finish Ricci in this one for you?
Xiaonan can finish. I think she's got 8 wins by KO, 8 first-round finishes. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You don't mess around with this. And like I said, a record or a career so far in the UFC is really phenomenal. I do think that she's going to probably win by decision. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this also a 5-round fight? Because it's co-main?
I have no idea, to be honest with you, VG. But I'll check for you.
I'm wondering. They used to put the rounds on the website as well. So I do think that I do think Yan Xiaonan is going to be the one that's going to lead the dance on the feet, and Tabatha, she's going to have to wrestle, or like I said, just like use a lot of clinch work, dirty boxing in the clinch, just do some crazy stuff, because Yan Xiaonan is going to try and piece up with the most flawless technique, which she does really well. And I want to say a finish, because it's very possible. Like I said, the record speaks for itself. Xiaonan does get finishes. It is a 3-round. Okay. So yeah, I think Xiaonan gets it done by a decision over the 3 rounds, just like outclassing her, outboxing her.
Fair play, BG. Fair play. Yeah, I mean, it's all the logic and all the safe money is pointing to Yan Xiaonan, but yeah, I'm hoping that Tabatha Ricci gets it done. I'd like to see her perform against the top brass in this division. So yeah, hoping for a performance from Tabatha Ricci, but yeah, it's not looking very likely.
What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm just hoping for the good fight, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But worried about the women's division after some of the performances we saw at the last UFC event. So yeah, just hoping. I mean, anything from that would be an improvement. But yeah, Yan Xiaonan she bangs, bro. So yeah, I look forward to give a very impressive display, especially in China with the home crowd advantage. They're gonna be so pumped, bro. They're gonna be so hyped. Exactly. And yeah, I think she's gonna try and put on a show at least, and try and go for the finish. Is what I'd like to see. But yeah, like I said, I'm hoping Tabatha got something for her and she can get it done for Brazil.
For Brazil. If Xiaonan gets to finish, I can see it where she maybe like maybe a hard body kick, one of those side kicks or a tip kick, and then Tabatha gets back up to the cage, and then Xiaonan goes in there and starts, TKO winner from that position.
Mm-hmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep a lookout for that one. We are, of course, hoping for the barn burner there, but let us know in the comments your thoughts about who gets it done for that one. But okay, BG, we're going to keep moving then. And here we go to the other bout of interest to us here. I think two ranked fighters here. Here we have Volkan Oezdemir, starts as the 3.0 underdog. He's 27-0, 13 by KO. Last fight beat Johnny Walker by first round TKO. Coming up against Carlos Ulberg, who is 11-1-0, 7 by KO. Last fight beat Alonzo Minifield by first round KO, and that only took him 12 seconds, BG. So, who gets it done here, bro?
Yo, Carlos Ulberg is on a tear, 6-fight wins, 3 KOing people left, right, and center, just making a statement after statement. But he is coming up against a legend, Volkan Oezdemir, as you mentioned, he's ranked number 8. He's been in here with Dog of Dogs. He's fought pretty much everyone that you can name under the sun when it comes to like top ranked fighters.
DC, bro.
Yeah?
He's for DC.
He's for DC. Paul Craig. You know what I mean? I think he's been in there with some of the contenders like Rakic them as well. If I'm not mistaken. And I like his style. I like his go-getting, his forwardness. He's a very good striker. I remember we both of us watched his last fight together. And he's always been a contender in my eyes. It's taken a bit long to come back because he took some time off. But like I said, he's been in there with the top guys, Ankalaev, Braska, Rakic, what's his name? Krylov, Nikita Krylov. And I like Usman's style. He's never a type of fighter where he just goes to decision. He's either one that's getting finished or he's the one that's finishing people. I think he's a bit of a cleaner striker, but because Ulberg has got the youth, he's got the vibrance. He's just this like a bull at the moment, just tearing through people. And I worry about that. I worry, even though I think Volkan's a cleaner guy. I think just because of Uzberg's momentum that he has right now, and he just takes one shot to put you away because he just has that much power behind his strikes. I think he's going to come there and start the fight off very quickly and try and just bombard Oezdemir, because Oezdemir is the kind of striker that if you give him time, he will start showcasing what he's good at, and that's just piecing you up with different techniques, throwing that crisp boxing, keeping you, throwing hard low kicks, and then he gets you up against the cage and he starts just piecing you up, goes to the body, goes to the head, looks for that one punch knockout kind of thing. And but it takes time to get in there, whereas Carlos Ulberg doesn't. He just goes in hot from the get-go. I don't think this fight's going to go to the ground at all. I think it's going to be a barn burner, straight-up stand-up war. And you asked me who's going to win it. My heart wants Volkan Oezdemir to get it. I do like his style, like his attitude. I think he's going to come up against a young stud here, and I think Carlos Ulberg's probably going to get the stoppage. Probably around one stoppage as well.
Big call, BG. Yeah, it's interesting that you say Oezdemir is the better striker because, yeah, I mean, Ulberg comes out the city kickboxing guy, and they are like levels above a lot of the other oaks in the game. So I actually would tip it to Ulberg, bro, like based on his previous fights. And like you said, he's on a tear, but Oezdemir, of course, does have the experience. So yeah, it's one of those again. So
good
yeah.
Point that you make. It's a good point that you make about the city kickboxing boys. But if you look at it's no, I don't want to throw shade on anyone in particular, but if you could take comparison side by side between, because you mentioned the experience on Volkan, right? If you look at who they both have fought, right? Carlos has been undefeated in the. I think he lost his opening bout only against Zinchuku. Remember him? That big long dude. I think he might even left this weight division. If I'm not mistaken. I think he might have gone up to heavyweight now. But Carlos has gone on a tear since that fight, right? And he's only really fought against like not necessarily contender guys, but guys that are almost about to break into top 15, possibly top 10. You know what I mean? Whereas Volkan has fought against guys who have competed for championships. You know what I mean? He's even fought for the title himself. So it's all about how does he manage the firecracker in Carlos. How does he manage that firecracker? You know what I mean? Because if it goes past the first round, I think Volkan has got a very good chance. But he has to survive that storm that Carlos is going to bring him over the first 5 to 7 minutes.
And you don't think he wrestles here, Oezdemir? Because I think that he has the advantage when it comes to the grappling. So,
Very true.
What are your thoughts on that?
Very true.
I mean, he has. I think he's sub Lionheart, doesn't he? I think so. Yeah.
He's been long in the UFC, for Dominic Reyes. He lost to Lionheart. Oh, he lost to Lionheart by sub.
He lost to Lionheart by sub.
Yeah, for Jimmy Manoa. Like he's always been fighting against top contenders since being in the UFC, man. And like all these fights has given him the experience, and that's a very good point. I think he has shown takedowns in the past. Doesn't look like his most comfortable position to be in, but he does have a takedown in his locker if he needs to use it. And I feel like he will probably use it if he gets cracked. If and when he gets cracked from Carlos, he's probably going to have to look at that, because if he goes back to his old patterns where he gets cracked and he starts swinging and looks to fight back by swinging, he might see a short night and find an early walk to the locker after the showers. But he's gonna have to be careful of that first 5 to 7 minutes. I do think when the fight goes longer, his experience comes out and he starts piecing his opponents up.
Yeah, I think that is quite an exciting one, and I'm probably looking for that one not to go the distance. So yeah, don't blink, ladies and gentlemen. But okay, there are of course some other fights on the card, but we're not going to go into too much detail with those. Mostly unranked, and not really too much. But we might get more into that, of course, in the parlay show.
Yeah.
Those kinds of fights become a bit more important to us. But okay, VG, any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
No, just excited for it, and also excited for our live. We're gonna do another live for this one. So
that's of course what I wanted to mention as well. Yeah, we are live streaming the event. It does start at a favorable time for us. So we'll be live streaming, and I think BG prelims start at 10. So I imagine we'll probably be on at about 9:50.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to join us for that one. We'll be very happy to see you, and of course, get those dubs in the chat, as the kids say.
Especially South Africans. It's a decent time for us, people.
No excuses. But yeah, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We are well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we do appreciate all of the love and support that you've shown us. So, from myself, BG, and all of us here at the CPS Reports, have a wonderful week and enjoy the fights. We'll see you tomorrow for the parlays. Goodbye, everyone.